Thank you. Okay, so Phil, thank you so much for inviting me. And the it is an honor to read among the Ventura poets because you are great poets. And to family and friends, thank you so much for being here. I think some of you have never heard me read. So my first poem is called Clausen House. Clausen House is a now defunct, but it was for many years a thrift store on Telegraph Avenue in Oakland, where I live. In this poem, the narrator is male, so it's written in a male voice. It was a Saturday afternoon at Clausen House. I was looking for strings for my guitar. Over the years, I had bought an antique wrench, a mahjong set, and a signed photograph of John Lennon just before he died. I was considering a set of drill bits when she walked in, wearing bicycle shorts and a red halter top. She walked up to me, stood close, and said, "Have you seen any sterling forks or spoons, a small kiddish cup? I know the prayers." She smelled of sex, if sex were the deep, dark, light. Hang on a second. She smelled of sex, if sex were the deep, dark light of a ruby. Her eyes changed from gold to green, and I knew I could never trust her. But trust, is sometimes beside the point. I was paying for my strings when I noticed she had gone. I ran out to the street and saw her a block away walking her bike. I ran after her and asked, "Would you like to get a latte?" She said, "I know a bar." She ordered a pisco sour, explained that it was from Peru. I made awkward small talk. I asked her name while she taunted me with her thighs. I was caught, drawn to the center of her web. Why didn't I walk away? Because she knew the story I needed to hear. She told it in a low voice, eyes closed. "It is winter," she said. "We're holding hands, almost married. We're standing at a railing above an ocean of ice. I take your hand. You hold back, a fear of death." "I know about death," she said. "Death happens when a tiny fissure opens in the sky and a body falls in." I could have chosen that dark haired girl who lives upstairs. She would have loved me. Instead, I became a beggar living on crumbs. I could kill her, but what would that do? I would be obsessed by a dead woman instead of a living one. So this is not about a woman in a casket dressed in ash. It is about love and all the ways it can grab you and squeeze you. It is about drowning in ice. This next poem is called 10, and I wrote it on my daughter's 10th birthday, and now she is 32, and she's here with us. There is such perfection in 10, at least the way she inhabits it. The top of her head comes to my breastbone now, that tender curve of cheek and brow, those slender limbs extending like a note held long, and her shoulders, so innocent still, of working for a wage, thinking small, marrying the wrong man for the wrong reason. The world will hold her like a bird in its palm, sometimes gentle, sometimes squeezing tight. As she strives for equilibrium, the world will make her drunk, and when she is lost in sadness, it will take her to the dance. And no matter how she struggles to take the wheel, she will be driven through the city of sorrow and the province of joy on the road of certain destination. This next one is called, hang on, this funny screen has opened up. Let's see if I can get rid of it. Yeah. This next one is called Getting Off the Bus. It's not being dead I'll mind so much, because once you're gone, right? Peaceful, like sleep, like before you were born. And how else would you want it? Some non-corporal version of yourself wandering the stratosphere, doing what? Looking for what? And what about being reborn? A popular notion, but think about it. Wasn't this life enough for you? Do you want more allergies, hair loss, credit card debt, D minuses, weight gain, and worn out motor mounts? No, it's not death I mind so much. It's getting off the bus, missing the ride, the sights out the window, the passengers who laugh too loud, tell dirty jokes, argue about baseball, and give some guy $10 because he looks like he needs it. It's the pretty Latina in red high heels who sits down beside me, flirting with her body, and says, "Where's your girlfriend, guapo?" It's the skinny teenager at the back of the bus who turns on his radio, a loud kind of beat, and two high school girls in pleated skirts get up and dance. And I do too. And the joints go around along with the beer. And even the driver is singing. No, it's not being dead I'll mind so much. It's stepping off the bus and watching it drive on without me. The next one is called Bart, Man on Bart. And Bart is the Bay Area Rapid Transit. He was sitting across from me on Bart. He looked like he'd been sleeping in the weather, hard ground, beneath a hedge, storms ripping through his head. His hair hadn't seen a comb in quite some time, and his scraggly beard looked like a chicken on a dirt road. His eyes darted around the car like he was trying to spot the sniper. I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to say, "It looks like it's been a while since you've been with a woman. Come home with me. There's food in the fridge, a bottle of wine. I'll cut your hair if you want. We could go upstairs to my soft, white bed, make love quick and fierce, the way strangers sometimes do. I could tell you about my sisters in Indiana, the one who died. You could tell me about the places you've been and what hurt you so bad." When it was time for him to go, I would give him some food, whatever money I had in my purse. I wouldn't try to keep him. On the train, as we approached the 16th Street station, the man stood up, leaned in to study the map, then turned his bike to the door. Maybe for a second, his eye met mine as he got off at 24th Street, and I went on to Balboa Park. So this next one is called On the Way to Bed, or I've been reading too much Charles Bukowski. He bought me a beer at a San Jose, this is called On the Way to Bed. He bought me a beer at a San Jose bar, then drank most of it himself. Is this how you treat a woman? I asked. I know how to treat a woman, he said, and they keep coming back for more. He was a small man with a big gut, and he needed a new pair of pants. When he asked, "Want to go back to my place?" I said, "Sure, I've got nothing better to do." But I knew I'd be making that same old mistake, thinking the wrong man was better than no man. He drove a green Camaro, sang along with Etta James. He offered me a bag of Fritos and a scrubby little roach. He said he was a rancher and waved up towards the hills. He took me to an all-night grill in a shopping mall on the wrong side of town. Then we drove to his apartment. Panhandlers loitered in the doorway. He knew them all by name and bummed a cigarette. There was no sofa or chair in his place, and he didn't have a TV. He said, "You gotta understand horses. They don't think like you and me." In the bathroom, I checked out the medicine chest. A rusty razor, a bar of Dial soap, a magazine lay open on the floor. 2 naked women and a snake in a bed. There was also a candle of the Virgin burning red on the windowsill, and I thought that I might love him, stay the night, fix him some eggs. Hang on a second. And I thought that I might love him, stay the night, fix him some eggs. There are so many ways to love a man, but no way to do it right. But this poem was supposed to be about going to bed. Well, we got drunk and never made it. This next one is called Ode to California. California, when you painted your mouth red and leaned in so close I could smell the salt on your breath and see into the blue Pacific eyes of the infant on your back. California, when you opened your legs wide and gave birth to hundreds of thousands, and then let millions more pour in, walk barefoot across your skin, run their fingers through your soil. When your deserts leaked oil and burst into oranges, when all your highways and bridges rose up singing. When Los Angeles wept real tears to find Jesus in a back lot, waiting for his $50 in the sun, and the goddess cast as harlot revealed her true self, and it was you. California, with your valley of genius, reinventing reality, inventing the future, you deserve your reign in the sun. And all the dreamers, comers, believers, hard workers from San Salvador and Shanghai, from Alabama and North Africa, give all they have to make it. And in making it, they've made you, California, our golden land, our blue Pacific home. Okay. So the next one is called Two Parents, Two Children. Two parents, two children at the dinner table on a Friday night, candles lit, a prayer said, warm bread in the basket, a cat on the rug. The father tells the boy not to eat with his hands. The girl giggles her way through a schoolyard joke. Mom passes the peas and promotes the salad. Two parents, two children, as immutable as the solar system until the largest planet begins to drift off orbit and the second struggles to hold the course. His prognosis is certain. The family's is not. It takes 2 years from diagnosis to death. And when the death comes, it comes hard. Each carries a suitcase of cries and sorrows, yearnings and blessings, and the millions of moments lived but not noted. Dad's squalls of anger over bikes in the drive. Mom's complaints about wet towels on the floor. The kisses goodnight, the swings in the yard, the neighborhood barbecues, the family car. Scenes held in dreams, drifting away. So one of my favorite poets is, I'm just checking my time here. I didn't set the time, so Phil, you'll have to tell me when I'm getting towards the end. One of my favorite poets is Saeed Jones, and he wrote a poem called Death in Bed. And as you've probably gathered by now, those are two of my favorite topics for poetry, death and bed. So I want to read you Saeed's poem and then follow it with a poem I wrote following his theme. Death in Bed. There are no instruction manuals, no pocketbook-sized pamphlets complete with diagrams and bullet lists, no chapter devoted to proper etiquette for initiating foreplay with bones. I could use some advice on what to wear, a pink negligee, or maybe just skin, or less. Should I worry about making death feel at ease? Do I offer him a drink, gin and tonic, or under the rocks? What do you say, lover? Do I call him lover? Turn the lights off or leave them on? And again, the question of foreplay. Would it be easier if I made conversation come here often, do you, lover? Maybe when he comes, I will just lie still. Maybe I should ask him if he would hold my breath. And then mine, I titled, I would wear you as a necklace. I love you for your bones. I love your bones. At night, they rest beside me, gleaming white, whiter than the moon. I love your bones, how they caress me, how they undress me. I would wear you like a necklace, bone white, bone dead, still as glass, still as stone. I am not your companion in death. I am the lover of what is left. Okay. That's it. That's it for me.
You're done?
Do I have time?
Sure. Yeah. Do you a couple more? Read two more poems.
Okay, hang on. I have to go get my little book.
Okay. It's been wonderful so far. We're just about done.
Okay. I'm back. Two more poems. See, so this is the little book I've been reading from. I don't know if you can see it.
Yep. Pull it back a
It's
little bit.
called, yeah, it's called Living on Earth. And I did the cover art.
Is there a way? I'll ask later.
Okay.
Keep going. I was going to ask, how do we get a hold of the book?
Oh, well, there are no more left. And I'm going to order some. Oh, okay. This poem is called Mina. Hearts can be explosive and skin a deadly weapon. I lost mine to Mina when she whispered, "I'm a poet," then played her flute for me, and in every melody I heard a silver note of lust. Mina took me to her mother, a walk-up on Vicente. Ida lay on her satin bed, wrapped in the old world, eating sausage from Odessa, schnapps from Murmansk, pickles from Moldavia, herring from Gdansk. And while she ate, she watched me, a blade of warning in her eye. The sea heaved dry that night. Its salt turned sweet by morning. I floated like an August moth in the green heart of my longing. In the 12th month of our marriage, Mina gave me her hand, and in between her slender fingers, I read her words of goodbye. Oh, hearts are explosive, and skin a deadly weapon. Mina's naked shoulder, mined with love and moonlight, vanquished my heart, my undefended heart. What mothers think, this is the last poem, what mothers think when they're nursing. Mothers feel round, all body, all flesh, and the fullness of breast where the baby holds on. The baby holds on and the mother is bound. Small bones, tiny body, 8 pounds of flesh. As the sucking slows and the baby lets go, the mother's mind roams over sofa and chair. She considers the window, how big the sky. And she thinks, was I meant to be a river bound, a tethered cloud, wind caught in a box? And she thinks, if I weren't so in love with this beautiful child, I'd walk right out that door and go.
Thank you, Adele.